Hi everyone, it's Bobby from Decoding here and welcome to this Python tutorial. In this video I'll be showing you how to get started with Python and a library called Virtualenvwrapper. But before we jump into it, if this is your first time visiting Decoding, then please subscribe and click that bell so that you're notified every time I add a video, which is normally 2 to 3 times a week. Also, if you feel like supporting Decoding, then there's a link to my Patreon page and HBAR wallet in the description below. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Look at my screen. It opens straight up on python.org. This is where we will be downloading the most recent version of Python. I've got a Windows machine, so I will be needing to download the Windows version. If you're using a different machine, then you download the right Python version for your machine. So if you're using Linux, you download the Linux version. Okay, also we've got another tab open which is pypi.org. This is where it's a public repository. This is where Python libraries can be stored, and you can use a command pip install to download certain libraries from pypi. One that we're downloading today is Virtualenvwrapper-win. The -win stands for Windows. That's the one that I'm using. If you're using an Apple or Linux, you just use Virtualenvwrapper. There's two different libraries. Okay, so if I open up my command prompt and if I put in here Python --version, you can see here it says Python was not found. I uninstalled Python for the purposes of this tutorial. So I haven't got Python on my machine, so we're going to go ahead and download a version of Python so I can actually start using Python commands and start my coding. So we'll go back into python.org, click on downloads, and then click on the most recent version, which currently is 3.9.6. That will download the installer. When that's done, we'll open it up, drag it across so you can see. Now, if you click install now, that will install everything and all of the default settings. We want to click on customize installation because we want to change one or two things. We also want to click on add Python 3.92 path. That will add Python to your environment variables on your machine, which is quite important. So I'll click that. I want to have the installer installed for all users as well. Click on customize installation. These by default are all ticked. We'll keep them as they are, but this one's important. That one must be ticked. That allows us to then use the command pip install to install libraries from pypi. So we need that. Click next. Again, we won't change any of these, but it does want to install Python in this default location. I want to change that. So what we'll do, we'll click browse. This PC, and I want to click the C drive. And let's have a new folder in here. Oh, let's try to add a new folder into Bobby. So let's not do that. Let's click on there and click OK. And we will have this as Python. And we will have another directory in there called Python. We'll call it 396. That's 3.9.6. That way we can have more than one version of Python on our machine and store it in different directories. And then what we'll do, we will click install. Okay, that looks like that's working nicely. So yeah, when this is installed, we will open up another command prompt and we'll test that same command that we used, which was Python --version. And hopefully then it will say that we've got Python 3.9.6 installed on our machine. So setup was a success. We can now close that. If I open up my command prompt, now put Python --version, happy days, Python 3.9.6. So now what we need to do, we need to install Virtualenv. So if we go back into my browser, go on here, the link to this will be in the description below. And all you need to do is copy this command. So we can just click this one here. So it's copy to clipboard. Go back in our command prompt and we'll paste it here. Click enter. This will install Virtualenvwrapper-win in my case as a global library. So we can access this throughout our machine. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this, because this now allows us to create virtual environments for each project that we are working on, so that when you start installing certain libraries to help you create projects or web applications, you can install them into their own individual virtual environment. So the first time I make a command, which in this case will be, I'll just put that to the top. Now using Virtualenvwrapper, we can now access a command called make virtualenv, and then we name the virtual env. That command will create a virtual environment in a directory called env into your directory. I'm in Bobby, so it'll add it in there. So I'll show you what I mean. So we'll call this test_env, press enter. And what that will do, that will create the virtual environment and it will fire it up. So it's now an active virtual environment. So if I now just install a random package, so let's go pip install requests. That will work, yeah, great. Okay, so that's gone ahead and installed requests into the virtual environment test_env. When the name of the virtual environment is on the left-hand side of your command prompt, that is a great indication that the virtual environment is actually working. To deactivate it, you just write deactivate, okay? And then what you need to do to fire it up again is work on test env. Brilliant. That's how we now manage virtual environments on our machine. But before I end the video, I just show you the my directory. So if I go into, so this is the directory that we use to download Python. We've got the Python directory here. Python 396 is there, which is what we'd expect. But if I now go into my PC, go into users and Bobby, you'll see in here now that I've got a directory envs. That has been created by the Virtualenvwrapper. If I go in there, you'll see I've got a test env. I've already got some in here already. I had that library already installed on my machine. So I've just created test env. Within that, we would go into libs, site packages, and in there you can see that we've got requests. There's a whole bunch of libraries that are required for Python to work and for virtual environments to work. That's what all of these other bits and pieces are. But if we go into requests, this is the library that I have installed using pip install requests. So this was kind of a quick rundown of how to get started with Python and Virtualenvwrapper. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it beneficial and it hasn't been cluttered with too much information. This is the end of the video, but before I go, please subscribe and click that bell. Also like the video and add a comment. It's always good to hear feedback from you guys as it allows me to steer the channel in the right direction. So that's the end of this video. Like I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you.